Greetings, greetings, greetings. Dr. Aikyna Finch here. I am so glad to have each and every one of you here. Today, I thought I would share a story with you. You know, people say that they love hearing about stories and why they came about and, just the background of things. I like stories, so I figure y'all might like a story too. So, the title of the story is How I Found My Voice with Social Media. So it all started back in 2008 when I was helping soldiers find jobs when they were getting out of the army. And I was an extreme introvert. Extreme, right? And if you want to comment in the box, please do comment below. I can see your comments and I can definitely answer questions because interaction is what I love. I feed off the energy. So while I was helping soldiers find jobs, I was helping them with cover letters and resumes and interviewing skills and all the normal stuff, right? And of course, we had to do, "Hi, Santi, how are you?" And we had to help people with, all those types of things. And of course, government resumes as well. Well, I decided, because I'm always the one that's outside the grain, and I was the youngest one in there. I said, let me figure out a way that's going to be different and it's going to be unique and it's going to get the people jobs faster, because the resume process and things like that is real lengthy, right? So I decided that I was going to use this new thing that came out called LinkedIn. And people have been buzzing about it and saying that, it might be helpful. And so I said, well, shoot, I'll be a guinea pig, right? I'm a techie, so I'll figure it out. I'll play with it. And I started what was called the Fort Carson Networking Group, right? And from the Fort Carson Networking Group, I put the soldiers in the group, and I also put let's see here. I also put soldiers and people that were looking for jobs in there, okay? And so I said, okay. So now they had a complete a complete way for they could get connections with the employers without paper, right? They got to skip the paper part. And in the process, I also taught them how to make their LinkedIn profiles more streamlined. Of course, then we reached out to also their Facebook pages and their Twitter pages, because we realized that people were looking at their social media before they even asked them for an interview sometimes. So we wanted to make sure that everything was crystal clean and pristine before they presented themselves out to employers from their social media platforms. And oh my goodness, y'all, it just grew, right? It grew and grew and grew. And all of a sudden, these job fairs we were having that had 50 or 60 people in it started having 100, 150 people in it. And then people from not just local, but over, nationwide, and then overseas start coming looking for our soldiers. And then the jobs that they would get, like 50,000, 60,000, became 100, 150,000. And all of this because, guess what? Social media, this free little tool, opened it up to so many different platforms that of people that didn't even know these soldiers existed, didn't even know that this was a pool that they could be tapping into. But once they figured out it was, OMG, they started killing it. And those soldiers who used to take 2, 3, 4, 5 months to find a job were finding jobs in 1 and 2 months. And the momentum grew, and the soldiers started coming to the classes. They heard about the classes, they heard about how we could help them, and the classes started growing to the fact where there was times when I had to have 2, 3, 4 counselors in there with me helping the soldiers at one time because of all of the great things they was doing. And then they wanted to come to the center and meet the soldiers right there. They wanted to interview them right there, right on the spot. They wanted to have employer days and spotlight days where they could just tap into nothing but the soldiers all by themselves. So in the process of this, where I'm marketing to these employers, where I'm marketing to these job fairs, where I'm marketing to the soldiers, I'm realizing that I'm having to start marketing myself, because they're like, who's this woman that is sending me all these emails, and who's this woman that keeps reaching out to me, and who's this woman? So then I had to start telling them who this woman was. And in the process, I was getting my doctorate at the same time. And so I had to start building my brand. And that was so scary to me. An introvert that didn't believe anybody cared about what she had to say or what she was doing. All of a sudden, she was the spotlight. And she was the one that they were calling an expert. Hello, how are you? And she was the one that was being called an expert, right? And then all of a sudden, I went from, introvert to Dr. Finch. People knew me, knew who I was looking for my brand, following me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Then around that time, Instagram started coming out, so they started following me there too. And the overwhelm for an introvert was, oh my God, right? As an introvert, I just wanted to crawl in a hole and like die somewhere, and bury myself. But I realized that what? Yes, I know. Isn't it great how those changes happen? But instead, I realized at that moment in time that my fears, my dreams were bigger than my comfort zone. And I had to put my fears behind me so that other people could prosper, so that other people could shine, so that other people could receive the help that they needed to receive. So even though I was scared to death, shaking in the boots, just shaking, I had to realize that my mission in life was to come out of the background and stand in the forefront so that other people could learn how to do the same. And since then, I have been writing, publishing, speaking, presenting on social media and job search and things of that nature. I've been a university dean and all these different things, all because of a lovely little social media platform called LinkedIn. If I hadn't started that group, and if I hadn't sent out that first email, and if I hadn't have sent out those invitations to those job fairs, and if I hadn't wrote those letters and those articles about the soldiers that needed my help, that were waiting for help so that they could feed their families, and so that they'd be able to live outside the army, then I wouldn't have found me. I wouldn't have found my gifts. And I wouldn't have found my light. So that is how social media helped me find my voice and my gifts. So if you see your children playing on social media a lot, where they don't really talk to anybody, don't stop them. Monitor them, but don't stop them. Because guess what? That just might be their outlet to finding their voice. It worked for me, and it might work for them. So, I'm Dr. Aikyna Finch. I do education, motivation, and of course, social media. And I look forward to sharing another story in the near future. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube Live. And until next time, bye. Bye.